your eternal soul. This is what Osiris represents. He represents your eternal soul. Now look, right here, hold up. You just defeated. Now you at Heru. You defeated your ego. You defeated your mortal state of consciousness. Now you are connected to your eternal soul, Osiris. This is where you start to meditate, real on a deep level. You start to really meditate. You start to go in. Now, at this point, when you connected to your inner Osiris, which is your eternal soul, you're starting to love yourself. You start to realize I'm more than these physical experiences. Even though these experiences are helping you become the level up within your way you move within this life, you start to realize some stuff ain't as crazy as you think it is. You start. Also, what I want to say about the mortality thing, you start to realize that death is not so bad as it is. Now, yes, some deaths are sad, but you start to you realize it's more after death. And it's like a journey after death, and there's more life after death. You know what I'm saying? That's when you realize that, and then you realize death is part of life. It's not life, death. Death is life. But that's when you at the, I forgot to explain that when I was talking about the Netet side of self, the mortal consciousness. But your eternal soul, when you start to meditate, you start to love yourself. You start to realize that you are a powerful deity. You start to realize everything starts with you. Your subconscious mind creates your reality. Wherever you put your subconscious mind will create your reality. And then you start to realize that it's all about you. You know what I'm saying? You make your reality. You shape your reality. You start to take accountability for yourself. You start to understand yourself. When you start to connect with your eternal soul, you start to do shadow work. You start to actually start loving yourself and respecting your flaws. You know what I'm saying? You start to realize you're starting to love every kind of aspect of yourself, because you just defeated everything that was holding you back, which was level 1. You're starting to do shadow work. You're starting to heal. You're starting to love yourself. You're starting to do some shadow work. Starting to love your lower self, because you already beat it. Now it's time to show love to him. Realize when you got to use certain things. You know what I'm saying? You start to connect within on a deep level. Huh? I don't know what I heard. But like what I was saying, when you connect to your eternal soul, you start to do shadow work. You start to love your flaws, love your other sides of yourself. Then you start to meditate. You start to now that you beat these 2 levels, then you start to connect with other chakras. You start to connect with your sacral, your solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown chakra. You have to beat level 1, bro. You can't do nothing without beating that. So then you start to, when you connect to your eternal soul, then you start to get here. You feel me? Like the sacral chakra, you start admiring your creativity. You start, because you connected to your soul right now. You starting to admire your creativity. You starting to admire your, I guess your sex drive or something like that, your sexual preferences, but in a healthy manner, right? But you loving your creative side. Your solar plexus chakra, you aligning that. You getting willpower back. You starting to actually build your power back up, your spiritual power. You starting to have willpower. Then your heart chakra, you starting to heal your heart, because you're connected to your soul now, which is your heart is the main part. Because when you die, your heart is weighed with a feather, and you want your heart light as a feather, because you don't want to have all this stuff attached to your heart. You don't want to have an evil heart. So you start to connect with your heart chakra, heal, and start to become righteous, and start to love yourself, and start to understand things more. Your heart is very important. You start to connect with your heart. You start to love. Love what you're supposed to love, not love everything. This is not, spirituality is not about, let me say this, spirituality is not about loving everybody. It's people you can still hate, bruh, but with righteous intent. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying hate somebody because they got more money than you. No. I'm not saying hate on your homies. No. What I'm saying, hate celebrities because they selling their soul and selling out our youth to gang violence and make them want to be gangsters. These people you can hate, you feel me? So realize, my nigga, it's not all love and light. People stole our freedom. These people you can hate. Yes. People making all these negative laws, hate those people, because it's a reason why. You feel me? But You don't hate everybody. You got love for certain people. You feel me? You know how to love yourself most importantly, but you love, like, people that's conscious too. You love people that need to be loved, you know what I'm saying? But you also hate people that need to be hated. So when you connect with your heart chakra, you have to love and hate too as well. But people don't say this. They want you to be a love and light. You have to love and hate too. But it's always with righteous intent at the end of the day. Feel me? But then throat chakra, you starting to express yourself. Pineal gland, you starting to see things deeper truth within things. You open your third eye on a deeper level. You know what I'm saying? Then your crown chakra, you connected to the universe and the divinity. So that's the Osiris level of it. It gets easier, but you just got to beat level 1. But we're at level 2. You connect with that's your eternal soul. The chakras are energy sections within your spirit body that govern different aspects of self and gives off different energies of self. They're all different consciousnesses of self that you must master. So then you raise your kundalini energy up, and then you feel like a whole god at this point. Like, you just feel so much at peace. You know when to do a lot of different things. Now, I'm not saying be at peace all the time. There's gonna be times where we feel angry of a lot of different stuff. I'm not trying to say block your emotions, but you have a higher way of seeing things. You have a higher perspective. You're way different than you was before. You're more in tune with self. Feel me? So when you do that, when you connect with your Osiris, right? Then you got Neb. Hold up. Then you got Neb Het. Oh no. Wait, no. I'm tripping. Aset represents the intuitional wisdom. So now so what you just did was you beat the lowest levels. You beat your lower self. You beat Set. You defeated Neb Het, and you now you realize you're immortal. You're a god. You're a divine being. You really understand this shit. Now you at Osiris. You line up your chakras. You doing inner work. You doing yoga. You listen to meditation music like I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you're not saying perfect, but you're on the right track within your life. You can control your journey now. Now you are at Aset. This is intuitional wisdom. This is your intuition wisdom. So now when it comes to this aspect of self, what you gotta do with Aset, which is a female goddess, you have to feed your eternal soul now, because Osiris and Aset are connected within the tree of life. Also, I'm pretty sure it's them that's married, Aset, Osiris, and Heru, the Holy Trinity, if I'm not mistaken. But when it comes to Aset, this is intuitional wisdom. Now, with this wisdom that you learn, you feed your soul. Like, you listening to me right now, I'm feeding your soul with wisdom. You learning, you reading, you listening to different teachers, I guess. You also listening to yourself, but you're educating yourself on the right topics, the right different things about history and spirituality and stuff like that. You teaching your soul information that your soul gonna keep within. Because remember, nothing's just really gonna go away, because you already know this, because you know you live forever, you're immortal. But when you start, now this is the part of yourself that you start to teach yourself. You feel me? And when you teach yourself and you educate yourself, you start to teach your soul, and you start to become smarter. You gain wisdom. You know what I'm saying? It's just basically teaching yourself about yourself. But that's really all it's about. Now you got all the wisdom to feed yourself. So now when it comes to these